Hi, and welcome to Module 6 of WFED 6270. The agenda for today is to talk a little bit about some marketing events and school-based enterprises to give you an idea of the kind of things you potentially could be doing to make money for your program. And then I want to spend a little bit of time talking about what's newsworthy. There's many opportunities for us to get in the news, get our program in the news, talk about the great things we're doing for the community and our students, but you got to be careful on not to bother them until you know it's newsworthy. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then the main heart of what we're talking about today happens to be poster development, because for this module, you're going to want to develop a poster. So let's talk a little bit about school-based enterprises, or SBEs. All in Career and Tech Ed, every program has a service or a product that people want. And so this potentially could be a huge revenue generator for you. All right. In fact, to give you an idea, public safety. So a public safety program, what possibly could they do to make money for their program? Well, one of the things that they could do is they could provide shoplifter identification training for local businesses, right? This just gives you an idea. The marketing teacher that I worked under when I was getting my PhD at Virginia Tech, when he was in marketing, one of the things he would do is he actually trained some students. Now, this was back in the 70s, so a little bit different, on how to shoplift. And then what he did was he partnered with some of the local businesses, and he told them that at some point these people were going to be into shoplift, and he made sure that they wouldn't get the law enforcement called on them, and I can't remember exactly how he did it, but nonetheless it worked. And so he would have students that sometimes would get caught, but many of the times these students were not getting caught, and then he would go back later, return the items, and then talk about how they did it, right? So looking for holes, and then he would ask for a donation for the business for the program, and it was very successful. So this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about, that even if you think your program couldn't be something that could generate some revenue, by providing a product or service, it actually could. So one of the things to think about that, one of the things that I did is I thought about, well, how can I bring the product to the people? Now, remember, I was a marketing program, so I had a school store. So I had hoodies and all kinds of sports paraphernalia that I was trying to sell to these students. And so we had a store in the actual high school, but that didn't help on game day because we didn't have an on-site stadium. And so what I did was I was able to get donated a free concession trailer. And so that was donated to me. I had the auto body shop paint it like purple flames going down the side because we were the purple was one of our colors. And so it was this really cool thing, and I called it the tailgater, right? And so, the point of telling you this is that you need to think about, how can I get the product to the people, not have them come to the tech center, right? And this works for some people, and I realize that there's some culinary arts programs out there where people come to the actual culinary arts or come to the tech center to eat at the restaurant. So it's good for them. But for the most part, we have to get out where the people are. So that may mean a space at the farmer's market or whatever, but you need to get out to where the people are to sell your service or product. I also want you to think beyond the norm. So one of the things that we did when I was in Roanoke is that we would develop marketing campaigns for a small fee for local stores, right? And it was very successful. Now, I learned that when I went to ACTE, which is now called Vision. And if you ever get an opportunity to go to the ACTE convention or the Vision conference, go, because it's amazing the stuff that you learn there. It's going to be in San Antonio this year. I'm not sure where it's going to be after that, but nonetheless, really good idea of thinking beyond the norm that I learned while I was there, and so I just emulated that in my program. Another one is in Southfield, they extended their product line to include a cafe, let's say, or large formatting printing. There was a business program in Hillsdale that started their own their own coffee shop that had like real espresso and all kinds of coffee goods, and it was doing very successful, and they were using that to support their student organization. Just to show you that really the sky is the limit here. This is in Sonoma County, which for those of you that drink wine know that it's where some of the best wine in the world is grown, or some of the best grapes are grown that's made into wine. So what they did was their ag program at the high school, agriculture program, partnered with Kendall Jackson Winery to grow, produce, bottle, and market their very own wine. And so they planted 5 acres of Chardonnay grapes, which produced 22 tons of grapes. And they sold their wine and made $35,000. And so June 5th, they had their wine release party, and here is those pictures were them working on the grapes, and here is the label. And the picture there is the high school, and it was, this is the 2009 vintage Panther Chardonnay, which when I looked it up, it was selling for about $25 to $35 a bottle. Okay. So the sky really is the limit on what you can do for school-based enterprise, and so I want you to think about that. When it comes to what's newsworthy, just to kind of transition into talking about something else, make sure that your school district allows teachers to contact the press. That's becoming a little bit less and less common nowadays, and so you may want to check into that before you do anything related to the news. You want to locate the person in charge with community or the education sections, and so become associates with them. Don't forget your CTSO news portals and ACTE. These are places where you can share information, and they'll be probably much more receptive if it's related to that student organization, or if it's related to career and tech ed. These folks will be much more receptive to maybe publish your news articles. And then make sure it's something that has meaning to the general public. So, at this point, anything green is great. Any type of charity work, any type of significant community service, anything that partner with the local community business is even better. So this is the kind of stuff that makes the news. So what is newsworthy? What's not newsworthy is selling a bunch of candy bars, for fundraising. That's not going to make the news, right? But potentially newsworthy would be partnering with a local or national charity to host an event. So what's not newsworthy? A student winning something at the district level student organization competition. It's district level. That happens every day of the week. But if they win at state or nationals, that actually can get into the news. And I know it can because one of my students was able to get into the Roanoke Times when he won state competition in one of our marketing, it was the DECA CTSO, and it was one of the marketing events. And one of the reasons why he was able to get into the news was that he had been supported or sponsored by a local business to get to nationals. So what's not newsworthy is you got some new fancy equipment, but what could be newsworthy is that you were awarded an $80,000 grant to install a new paint booth or whatever lab equipment, right? So how do you get the news's attention? Well, there's all different types of ways, but one way is to pitch the story by calling first. And so make it sound interesting. Pitch it to a voicemail or to a person and see if they call back. I've been successful sometimes, and I haven't been successful other times doing this. And so it's all just on what journalists you catch and when you catch them. But I just want to kind of mention a couple little tricks there. So the keys to success when it comes to marketing is you need to analyze what you're doing, obtain feedback from the community, parents, school, and students. You need to survey the community for partnerships and information, develop some marketing intervention strategies that will promote positive exposure, delegate tasks to make marketing your program a learning experience, and then collaborate with peers, community, businesses to promote CTE. These are all the things that we've been talking about this semester, right? And so these are the things that you've been working on. And now what I want you to do is take some of those things, some of those concepts, and we're going to do some posters. All right, you're going to develop a poster. So when you develop your poster, and I'll show you the guidelines in just a little bit, you got to remember your audience. And so you're going to have to choose where this poster is going to go. And I'm going to leave it up to you. You just need to make sure that you explain it very clearly to me that this poster is meant to go into a home school, a home high school, or this poster is meant to be in the tech center hallway, or this poster is meant to be put up at a local business. Whatever it may be, remember your target audience. Remember that the poster must have very clear pictures. I don't want to see any type of pixelation on these. The size of the poster must be 11 by 17. And remember, the whole point of developing this poster is to play to some type of fantasy, right? The student or parent fantasy about what they want to see in themselves or see in their children. So here's some examples that we're going to look at from when I taught this course face-to-face. I've taught this course face-to-face 4 or 5 times, and so here are some examples. And as we go through these, I'll try to point out as many things as I can remember to point out. So here's one for a robotics or an engineering program. And as you can see, there's some things on here, once again, playing to their fantasies. If you see right almost in the dead center in large font is earn college credit while designing and building robots. All right. So this is obviously geared directly to students. There's pictures of some really cool robots that they're going to be building and working with. They also are asking questions such as, are you looking for meaning and relevance in your class? Are you looking for hands-on projects to apply math and science? This is the program for you, right? So I just wanted to kind of point this one out. I think this is a great one. It's got great pictures. It's got students working on robots and machinery. So this was a good one. Aesthetically, is it the best looking one? No, but it kind of doesn't have to be. That's the thing. I think we sometimes get so hung up on making it look pretty, we don't think about the impact of it just being in, like, let's say a hallway when a student is waiting around for a class to be able to read this, or in the cafeteria. It doesn't have to look fancy. It's more of the content and the pictures that's really important. Now, here's the complete opposite. This is one that was done by a commercial art program teacher, right? So it is very sexy and appealing, It's still great because it talks about the different types of things that you can become. That's what the wording is there in case you can't see it. It says junior graphic designer and design studio assistant and illustrator and computer animator and junior art director. And then if you notice at the very bottom right, it says make up to $80,000 a year. Once again, we're playing to parent and student fantasies. This is not a lie. You can make up to $80,000 a year. So it's just showing them that this is a path that can lead to a successful life if you're interested in it, right? Here's one that is kind of a play on the law and public safety. It's for a criminal justice program. And as you can see, it's wanted students interested in police, CSI, right? Courts, corrections, fire, EMT. And I remember when they were making this, it was like, well, a lot of these students think that all we do is solve crimes in 5 minutes, so I'm sure they debated on, do I put CSI in there or not? But remember, we're trying to get their attention. So you can straighten them out when they first show up and be like, listen, it ain't just CSI. We're doing all kinds of other stuff here. But nonetheless, we're just trying to get their attention. You'll also notice at the very bottom, it says free college credit, English credit, CPR certifications. You're going to learn defensive tactics. I mean, how cool is that, right? And then there's a picture of students. And if you notice, this picture is incredibly diverse. Male, female, different races, right? So it was an excellent picture, and it's just a really nice little poster. Here's one for a business and marketing program. It says your future starts here, and then it asks some questions. Do you want to maybe one day own your own business, be a manager, be an office assistant, be a medical office assistant, learn about accounting, learn about international business? Then BMMT is the place for you. You can earn up to 7 certifications. On the right, it says earn up to 30 college credits. Like, this is the kind of stuff we need to be sharing. And so it looks great to me. Here's one for an automotive technology program. Get your motor running, right, with a big picture of a Camaro on there. This class pays money. Over 90,000 job openings each year in the U.S. Earn over $50,000 a year. There's jobs in diesel and racing and marine and engineering and RV. Free college credit. And then they even put, which I thought was kind of cute, a quote from a student, right? It says, "Best class I ever took," right? And then, in auto tech, you'll get lots of shop time, work on your car, use Snap-on tools, right? And so, there's great stuff here, math and ELA credit. And then you can actually even do the barcode scanning if you wanted to, or QR code to get a video tour of the facility. Here's one. I can't remember which one this one is. Spring Lake Public Schools. Oh, it's their STEM program, right? And so it talked about how you can earn college credit, dual enrollment, articulated credit. Math makes your life add up. And then what I like about this one is where it's got where the jobs are. And so it's got, that carpenter, registered nurse, actuary, mathematician, $102,000, right? And so it talks about that job growth in 2022 for high school, associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, right? So it's really kind of cool. And this one's kind of a broad poster, I think, because this one covers a lot of different disciplines. Here's one for a computer-aided design program at Van Buren. Which fits you, CAD, Drafter, you can check it off, right? Kind of a virtual check there. You can earn up to 19 college credits and an internationally recognized SolidWorks certificate. All right, and then it's kind of hard to see, but they've got their labor market demand information with salaries down there below, and I believe the expected growth percentages there, right? So just a nice little chart there to once again show that there is demand and there's money within this particular area. Here's another one that's a law enforcement one, talking about investigating the career of your life, $10,000 in local scholarship money, right? You'll also notice that there is stuff here about the attorney and police officer making, $80,000. And so there's different types of salaries there depending on where you want to go within the law enforcement arena. Here's another one where they point out this is auto service technology program. Talked about how it's kind of hard to see, but there's a huge job growth, over 60,000 jobs. The Michigan average annual technician wage is $42,000. The Michigan average hourly wage is $20.37, right? Showing them real money, real dollars, real growth. And then here's the last one I'm going to show you. This is for a construction technology course at a program at Grand Rapids Community College. Are just asking the question, are you a hands-on person? You can start anytime, and the classes are 18 weeks, and you can earn up to $84,000 a year with an associate's degree. So it's just showing you job growth, very clean, nice picture, right? So hopefully by showing you these, you kind of can start to see what you potentially could do. These are what people that have been in this class before have developed. And these were all 11 by 17 posters. And so what is it I'm asking you to do? Well, you're going to develop a poster just like this that highlights your program. And there's a few things that I want to make sure that you have on there. That you do color printing, that it's 11 by 17 size or larger, that you have some labor market data on there, such as salaries or growth, that you have at least one picture that has clear resolution. If it's an actual picture of your classroom or students, I think that's even better, but it doesn't have to be. In case you're wondering, we're not going to worry for the sake of this particular assignment about copyright and those types of things, because these are for this class only. If you, whatever you decide to do with it later, that's your business. But I'm not going to worry about making sure that you're using royalty-free images. It's just for a grade, unless you decide to use it otherwise, and then you're going to have to think about that. And then at least 4 bullets of information about your program. And they don't have to be bullets, but I'm just looking for 4 kind of snippets of information about your program. You need to make sure that you actually get this poster printed. I want it to be printed so that you have a paper copy of it that you can use or do whatever you want to do with it, hang it up in your office, throw it away, whatever. And then you're going to take a picture of that and you're going to upload it to the e-learning Dropbox. If you have any questions, reach out to me. If not, I wish you the best of luck.